Hello and welcome back to the woods. Well, this isn't my woods actually, this is the local Wildlife Trust Nature Reserve to me. So I thought I'd come for a bit of a wander and tell you how I became a scout leader. So the story goes back to 2010 when I first moved in with my then girlfriend, who's now my wife, and we lived right on the parade route for the Scout St George's Day parade in Sleaford. And for the first couple of years I kept looking out the window and thought, I used to love being in Cubs, maybe I can become a scout leader. So I started looking into it, and the more I looked into it, the more I realised you need to have faith in order to become a scout leader, and I'm an atheist, so I thought, right, that counts me out. Didn't really start thinking much about it until my son started going to Cubs about 10 years later or so. And I used to drop him off at Cubs on a Thursday evening, and where he used to meet up was right next door to our local village pub. I thought, wow, there's no point going home just for an hour and then coming back to pick him up. I may as well go for a pint. And this was happening week in, week out for a couple of months, and just started getting a bit samey. As much as I like my beer and as much as people think I love going down the pub all the time, it was getting a bit much. So one particular day I asked my son's club leader, do you need any help? I'm free, I'm just killing time in the pub for an hour. And they said yes. So I started helping out as a parent helper, or a group occasional helper, as I think it was called back in the day, and started to really enjoy it. I started to go in every week, interacting with the kids, showing them some of the skills that I knew, and it was good fun. And the group scout leader, or group lead volunteer as it's now called in 2025, kept trying to push me into a uniform role. Well, he wasn't pushing me, but he was gently persuading, saying, oh, Sean, you'd look good with a uniform on. But oh, would I? That's nice. And this kept going on, and I at the time I had absolutely no desire to become a leader at all. I was just happy showing up once a week, helping out, not doing any of the session planning, not organising any of the badges or anything, and I was happy with that. And then one particular year we had a major county cub camp, Lynn Cub, based in Lincolnshire, and I went along to that, and there was one young particular lad who on the Saturday night was really homesick. He was inconsolable for a little bit. He was just crying, he wanted to go home. In the end we reluctantly said, call your mum or dad, I can't remember who, to see how you get on, and it didn't really help. But he agreed with his parents that he was going to stay for the night. So after the phone call, he was still really upset, still really sad and crying and missing home, just wanted to go. Well, he wanted to go, but he wanted to stay, you know what I mean. And I stayed with him for an hour or so in the mess tent, just talking with him. And yeah, as we got talking, he was telling me about all the different things that he wanted to do on the camp. He wanted to do the water zorbing, he wanted to do the laser tag, but he was just a little bit too shy to go and do it. So I said, well, do it. If you stay, you can do it. So you might be sad, you might be upset for tonight, but if you stick with it, you'll get to do all the cool stuff tomorrow. And he agreed, and that was really sweet to see. But he did ask me, Sean, can I come around with you tomorrow? And I was like, unfortunately not, because I had agreed to chaperone the minibuses to and from the campsite to where the water activities were taking place. So I said, at closing ceremony, I want you to come up to me and tell me everything that you've done today and let me know how you get on. He was like, right, agreed, we've got a deal. So the next morning, I didn't really think much of it. I mean, I asked him how he slept and everything and told him to go and enjoy his day. And he did. He went into the camp, I went and did my thing with the minibuses. Closing ceremony comes round and he comes running up to me with the biggest smile on his face, saying, Sean, I've done this, I've done that. I can't believe that I've done it all by myself. And I was like, brilliant. He turned around and, oh, I want more of this. And before we'd even got back to the campsite, I said to the club leader, I was like, right, how do I take this further? How do I become a uniform leader? Because I want more of that feeling. It was brilliant just seeing a child that wasn't my own, that I'd influenced to step outside of their comfort zone, and for them to go ahead and then achieve it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. So the next morning, feeling really chuffed with myself, I suddenly had this sudden realization of, oh crap, the Scouts need a faith. I can't take the promise without being a hypocrite, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make a promise that I could keep. So I quickly went online and looked into it, and thankfully the Scouts Association abolished the requirement for a Christian promise in 2014, I think it was. All right, result, we can do this. So that afternoon I contacted the Group Scout leader and filled in all the paperwork. And then within a matter of weeks, I was all signed off and on the system as a section assistant for the local Cub Scout section, which was fantastic. Roll on 1, maybe 2 months, the Group Scout leader then started poking me in the ribs, and I was like, Sean, you'd look good with wood beads around your neck. So, oh, would I? So for those who don't know, wood beads are it's to show that a scout leader has gone through all of the relevant training, has taken all of the safety modules, and show that they are competent of doing their job. It's what sometimes you'll see 2 little dangly beads wrapped around the necker. That's what that is. It's called the wood badge. And again, I had no desire to go through this. I was happy just being in uniform now and helping out every week with a little bit more responsibility than what I had previously as a parent helper. But I ended up caving. The more he kept poking, the more I kept thinking, would be quite nice. And then I heard a rumour that the Scouts Association were going to remove the wood badge training. And it was a case of you either do it now or you don't do it at all. So I thought, you know what, screw it. Let's do it. Let's go whole hog into this. And because we knew we're on a time frame, we ended up then fast tracking myself through the leader training, through the wood badge modules. And it was hard work. There was I think I did a couple of online courses, a couple of face-to-face courses, and online webinars as well. And for one of the modules as well, I had to do planning an international trip. So I had to do all of the itinerary, the travel, the money, the finances, writing a fake letter to the parents to tell them what's going to happen and everything. And I got through it. I think I started the wood badge training in, I think I started the wood badge training in February, and I got through it and signed off by the end of April. So it was 2 months, which is fast for doing the wood badge training. But I was in the lucky position that I was self-employed, so I was able to do a lot of the training around my work. So if I wanted to take a day off and nail off a few modules, that's what I was able to do. Whereas other leaders used to find it usual to complete the wood badge training in a year. But they've also got full-time jobs and don't tend to have the spare time that somebody who works freelance does. And that was that. I got my wood beads, and then I was promoted on the membership system to assistant section leader, and that was brilliant. So that's the story of how I became a leader with Scouts. I'm no longer with the Cub section, I'm now with Explorers. I left the Cub Scout section and went to one of the one of the district Explorer groups, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. That's not saying that I didn't enjoy my time at Cubs. I absolutely love my time at Cubs, and the leaders were brilliant, and I'm still really close to everybody at my old group, including the Squirrels, Beavers, Cubs and Scout leaders. Absolutely love my time there. But I found my calling with the age group of the Explorers. You can have much more banter with them, and this is where I intend to stay. I still help out at my old section whenever they need it. I still go along on their camps just because it's good to have a catch up with the old leaders as well, and it's good fun. I still enjoy my time with the kids, and that's where we are now. So yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to, and hopefully this channel will have a little bit more scouting content going forward. See you soon.